and holy. Glory, glory, glory to the Father, for making you a nation, a joy forevermore. Ambazonia, land of freedom, you shall live in plenty, meeting our needs, and your children shall be like the stars above. The Most High God being the watchman of this nation. Ambazonia, land of freedom, you shall live in plenty, meeting our needs, and your children shall be like the stars above. The Most High God being the watchman of this nation. Hail, hail, hail this land of glory. We the Amazonians pledge our loyalty. Praises to our Savior who granted us the freedom. A legend to the hero who bore the lonely diablo. Glory to glory, we rise and never to fall. Here in the nation, flowing with earth and holy. Glory, glory, glory to the Father, for making you a nation, a joy forevermore. Ambazonia, land of freedom, you shall live in plenty, meeting our needs, and your children shall be like the stars above. The Most High God being the watchman of this nation. Ambazonia, land of freedom, you shall live in plenty, meeting our needs, and your children shall be like the stars above. The Most
My dear compatriots, revolutionary greetings to you all. I come today with a heightened level of resistance and a reassurance of determination. Time is not on our side. I understand there are days you just can't control your breath. There are moments you wish you were never a party to this revolution. Yes, I understand that feeling of uncertainty. Those moments that are very difficult to comprehend. Times when you may be wondering and pondering, who do I trust in this revolution? I understand that feeling of being disappointed. I understand that feeling of being disappointed even by those you least expected. Those you hold in very high esteem. Those you have entrusted your hopes in. My people, I understand there are moments you feel like giving up and maybe taking the opposite lane. I understand. But be rest assured, I still have so much confidence in you and in our future, the future of our nation. As the days go by, the stakes get higher. The battle gets tougher. And the clouds become darker. It will surely rain success, even heavier. Do not be surprised that even as we strategize, we Amazonians, to tackle the occupier, that we may be faced with even tougher and vicious adversaries from within our revolution. I have been reliably informed of the chaotic instrumentation of some nationalist and self-defense groups and individuals within our own very circle working against ourselves. This is sad. These sad incidents evoke disturbing questions on whether some of our very best may not have been compromised to confiscate the People's Revolution for their personal gain. The Ambazonian Self-Defense Council, the ASC, in conjunction with the interim government, the Department of Homeland Security, are currently conducting serious investigations about these and the conflict between some Bororo headsmen in Momo County and some of our valiant restoration forces. While waiting for their reports and their valuable recommendations, I hasten to caution the population to remain calm and avoid further escalations. These matters should and are being treated as Ambazonian, as inside matters. It is also worth noting that our leaders, including His Excellency Sako Tabi, were supposed to be presented to the Yaoundé High Court last week. But as usual, their rights were once again trampled upon. This only goes to show the unwillingness of French Cameroon to respect her own laws and their willful disregard for universal human rights. We are aware of all this, that this may bring waves of discouragement. But let's remember, the habeas corpus suit had nothing to do with the primary trial we have been expecting since their illegal abduction 8 months ago in Nigeria. The recent lawsuit was an attempt to oblige the state of French Cameroon to present the bodies of our leaders, dead or alive, in court. So let us remain resolute and be even resilient in times like this, and remember that there are local and international remedies to every illegality by a rogue regime like French Cameroon. Fellow Ambazonians, my dear people, at this point, we are naturally migrating into a new phase of our revolution, despite many difficult moments. And I wish to reaffirm audaciously that we all were minted by God at this time to be the solutions to the mounting challenge brought against us by the fake friends or foes of our revolution. In spite of the challenges within our revolution, I am more focused and determined than ever before. That is why I have come here today to tell you never to look back or to even think of going back to where we are coming from. Our revolution has chosen bravery instead of suicidal cowardice. Make no mistakes about this. We are not minimizing your concerns. Your interim government is relentlessly working day and night to secure the best solutions for all. We shall not stoop low to detractors and opportunists within our communities. We do not need to undercut, supplant, betray, or destroy our own brothers just to become their lords. That will be a perfect sign of weakness and fickle-mindedness. I really do not think this is the history we want to write for our next generation. We must secure a free Ambazonia for our children, for our born and unborn children. We must never relent. Our time is now. Every day I listen to some of your voices expressing genuine cries of frustrations. I feel the pain as well. But we must not renege at any given moment. Our unshaken undertaking to free our own homeland is here. Again, it is heartbreaking to know that even as your interim government makes frantic efforts to reach out and hold others' hands with the intention to forge ahead together and secure a united front to include more nationalist movements and groups and individuals and ideas, there are still many struggling so very hard instead to torpedo our collective gains for egoistic reasons. Shame to all warlord apprentices who want to shipwreck our revolution in the name of collaboration. Irrespective of such unwarranted challenges, I still see possibilities in everything. Because I know, deep down in me, for anything that is stolen away from our struggle, something of a greater value emerges. And I think this time, with the utmost interest of our people, it will be in full measure. My heart has always been for our people and for Ground Zero. That is why the motto of this interim government will remain ground zero first. I want to assure our people on ground zero that while struggling for survival, it should remain the focal point of our decision making. You remain the focal point of our decision making. You all will agree with me that you are the ones who feel all the pain, paying the ultimate price for the war with your blood, and fighting the monstrosity of French Cameroon bullet by bullet. That is why a systematic county by county, local government by local government strategy managed by a community framework engineered by the people of Amazonia will be launched next week. We have been working on this model of funding for our revolution for months now. We are also appreciative of efforts by some of our activists in this domain. We believe that county by county funding with a single community funding or treasury will be the foundation to enforce the collaboration you, the people of Amazonia, want to see, and flush out bad actors from our counties. The interim government will oversee the structure and the administration of the county by county model, but you, the people, will fund your revolution, make the decisions about what to do and how much to do it, what to spend and how much to spend, who to give your money to secure your county or local government area. We are confident this will address the concerns of all bona fide Amazonians. We are not just interested in this concept because some people widely requested for it. It has been the desire of your interim government to give power to you, the people. The various counties, and we have 13 on the 14th county now, Bakassi, shall be headed and managed directly by their local government administrators, who will be vetted and elected by the counties themselves. Our community task force of experts working relentlessly on this project will publish the program soon for your public consumption and your input. We cannot afford to continually misplace our priorities when our people are dying on a daily basis in our communities. Since our leaders are yet to draft out and execute a joint plan to attend to the people on ground zero, even when we all agreed that this should be our priority, we, the interim government, will not wait until our people are all dead to mobilize our communities to take the lead. Let me repeat myself. The IG, the interim government, has rejected the idea of sharing funds that are raised in any joint fundraiser, like we did at AACC fundraiser. I want to categorically state here and now that until we unanimously agree to invest 100% of the funds on ground zero projects as we agreed to do, and execute such projects jointly to guarantee ground zero that the money that was raised is completely invested on them, there will be no joint fundraisers for distribution among organizations. Before I conclude, let me once again thank all our brave restoration forces for their resilience. For this I say thank you. Your interim government is committed to ensuring that your well-being is improved upon sooner than later. I hear your cry, and I know your pain. And be rest assured, we will do our best to keep our side of the deal as we galvanize our communities to power this revolution. That being said, over the past weeks, we have had disturbing calls coming in from Ground Zero about the misconduct of some of our supposedly restoration forces, about kidnapping and demanding of ransom. Those are not restoration forces. That is not Amazonian. We knew that Atanganji Paul's terrorists will attack schools and teachers, then try to stick it on the restoration forces in order to get materials for their propaganda warfare against us. That is why your interim government was smart enough. Strategically, we decided to lift the school boycott. Our restoration forces, therefore, cannot be enforcing the same school boycott in any shape or form after we, the interim government, discontinued the school boycott in all Ambazonia. So it is obvious that the culprits who are ransacking our schools, capturing our teachers, maiming them, principals, these are La République terrorists in crime attire. While we continue with thorough investigation to get the culprits apprehended, I want to say that the discipline and recalcitrant behavior by some bad seeds among us must stop. This goes as a very serious warning to all infiltrators, all intruders, and French Cameroon agents. It will no longer be game as usual. Restoration forces are now on high alert, and their commanders have drawn a line on the sand. This will be the very last time any deceiver will enter the camps of restoration forces and boot away with their hard-earned booties. It will not happen again. God bless all counties united for Ambazonia to be free. God bless the Federal Republic of Ambazonia. Please kindly be patient while I take some questions after the commercial break. Thank you for listening.
Wow, 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 wow. It is the first edition of your most famous weekly situation with the acting president of the Federal Republic of Ambazonia in the month of September. Dear televiewers, ladies and gentlemen, we apologize for the few hitches we had from the start. We've had an extraordinarily amazing moment of hope. I would like to welcome you all to that very special time when we are privileged to present questions from our people and from the communications department to the president. Before we dive into that, it is worth reminding that this month of September 2018 marks exactly 1 year when the people of our nation worldwide made history, came out from all the different corners of the world in their numbers and in their colors to categorically denounce the recolonization. And we are here again, even with a stronger energy to step up the game. Mr. President, thank you very much for the opportunity you've given to me this evening. I will straight away dive into the heartbeat question. You have clearly told the Amazonian people today that your government is adopting the county by county. I know you've elaborately explained, but I would like you to throw more light and to give to our people some of the advantages they may gain from this powerful initiative. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Paddy, and thank you, communication team. One thing I would tell you is that this is no new invention. This is what is already going on, but it's not organized. It's not galvanized. So many communities, especially when they are seriously touched, they naturally reacted by either organizing to defend themselves or securing the resources to do so, to help those who are able to put their lives on the line for the community and for others. So here and there we have seen this happen in cultural organizations, in community by community leaders. A lot of mobilization is being done and a lot of help is being channeled through individual and group means to the ground. The only thing is that it's not organized. So we have identified that this enthusiasm can be carefully canalized so that it can be channeled in a way that we will avoid wastes, and in a way that we can also hold people accountable, those that we are giving this help to deliver certain results. So we at the interim government is stepping in to give a form to this that is already going on, and to empower the people the more, because when the program is fully rolled out, you will see that we are really empowering the people to be the real leaders and the key leaders of this revolution. So we are bringing the communities into decision making about the future of their communities and our nation, and to take to participate fully in that process, and not just of funding, but of the important decisions that have to be made concerning the struggle. So we are all in the diaspora. We are from different local government areas and counties. So the experts have done a lot of work. I had discussed this with some people, because we have tried to consult as wide as possible, so that this thing is not just our thing by one person. We have consulted wider, the wider public of Amazonia, experts who are not really just for the political thing. These are experts in their domains, and we have taken a lot of their expertise into consideration to ensure that there will be a good organization, there will be transparency, and we can be sure that whatever we put together, we can be able to channel it and get better results.
Wow, thank you very much, Mr. President. You just mentioned something about accountability. I think I have a question for you on that, but before I get there, I would like to re-echo some of the things you just mentioned in your statement this evening. I think it will be important for the Amazonian people to get that settled in them. You said something. I understand that feeling of being disappointed, by even those you least expected, those you hold very high esteem, those you have entrusted your hopes in. And you went further by saying, my people. I understand there are moments you feel like giving up and taking the opposite lane. Now, Mr. President, I want to cue into that to ask you, what do you really want to do at this particular moment to mobilize our people from home and abroad to particularly participate, especially with what is coming up on 1st October?
Yes, we want to tell the people that we are at war. We should not forget. When we suffer certain casualties, we should not forget. We should have seen them coming. When we rejoice, know that the other camp is mourning. Sometimes we mourn. We are at war. That is how it is in a war. I want to assure the people that these things, and what about those that shock us all the way, disappoint us, those that we try to rest on, that we try to depend on, we believe in, and then they turn around and they hurt us badly. There's a lot of anger around, especially during this week, for a lot of things that have happened on Ground Zero. It is very painful, especially when it comes from somebody you trusted, somebody you did not see it coming, and then it hit you. And so I want to say that these are not good enough to distract us. They are not enough to distract us or cause anyone to fall out from the line. We have made our determination. Our goal is stronger than any distraction, is stronger than any challenge that we might face. We have seen the light on the other side of the tunnel. We cannot turn back. And so when it comes to the 1st of October, Let us remember this day. We made a statement to the world. We need to remind the world that it wasn't a joke. It wasn't just some noise. This is reality. And when we decide to come out and celebrate it, whatever you want to call it, whether you want to call it a memorial or whatever name you want to call it, that when we come out in our numbers and tell the world that we meant what we declared, and we remind ourselves of what we declared, and tell the world that 1 year after we are still on the same declaration, that will be good enough. Because our adversaries and those who are working against us have banked on the hope that somehow our enthusiasm will just fizzle out. In the middle of our struggle, we will start giving up, and there will be fatigue, and we will surrender. This is a time to tell them that we are not tired. We have not lost any steam. In fact, we should have a kind of 1st of October that will be better than the 1st October we had when we declared the restoration of our independence. That's how to make a statement to the people, to tell them that if you thought that by now we would be weaker, we have instead increased in strength. Let the blood of the martyrs be the fuel of your zeal and this revolution. If you consider how many have died and you are still standing, this is a time that you cannot afford to take the back seat. I want you to make sure that you make it to Washington, and we make the statement loud and clear. You make sure that you participate in the program in Europe, in Asia, and on other places that will be organized. Make sure that you join us in one voice and make that statement loud and clear. We shall appeal to all our communities as we have decided to start mobilizing our nation by their communities, by their groupings. Then we shall do so. We shall start all the way and make sure that we reach out to all the community leaders, all the cultural leaders, all the leaders in our society, all the professionals, to make sure that we join hands together and celebrate our nation. I don't care where you belong, whatever group you associate with. This is Ambazonia. When it comes to our National Day, it is our national pride. I count on you to make this day, to give this day the impetus it deserves.
Wow. Thank you very much, Mr. President. With your permission, I would like to seize this opportunity to say that we have our esteemed Dr. Aisha in the house. Our technicians, in spite of the technical issues, have succeeded to link her up. Hello, Dr. Aisha, welcome. I'd like you right away to ask your question to the President, please.
Greetings, His Excellency. Hello, fellow Ambazonians. His Excellency, in the backdrop of our upcoming independence celebration, Amazonians have been decrying recent reports of attacks on fellow citizens and our restoration forces by some agents of the enemy disguised as Amber Boys. Without going into more details into all those reports that we all have been either listening on audio messages or reading circulating in the social media, we would like to know what is the ASC and the IG doing about these atrocities committed on our people on Ground Zero. Thank you.
Well, this is part of the war. We are very aware of the recent happenings, especially in the northern zone. But that's not where it all started. This has been going on. And because there are many amongst us who say they are Southern Cameroonians or West Cameroonians who have decided to dine with the enemy and to sell the nation for an appointment or for some political privilege, who have benefited so much that they don't see the need to fight for the freedom of the land. And they have associated themselves, they have become they are being used by the enemy to betray our people. And many have even from all walks of life, especially even from the political parties, especially the CPDM. They have been working with the enemies to betray our forces, to betray our people, and even settle scores. And it's a shame. And then what is even more painful is that some of ours, it is alleged, that are supposed to be fighting for the liberation of certain Cameroons and Ambazonia, now attacking friendly fire, attacking our own, not just attacking, coming in like friends, pretending to be friends, and then start fighting your own, arresting your own for whatever reason. Even in war, there is law. Even when we are at war, the law is not sacrificed. We should understand that the nation we are trying to build, when we get there, the book of the law shall be opened. And let me say this, that many people shall be held accountable. You cannot be a member of the restoration forces fighting for freedom, and you attack another restoration force, seize his property, and go away with it, and beat them up, and take some of them hostage, and that, you see, the question is, who are you fighting for? How that fight there benefits who? I don't know the truth. I don't know the bottom of this. I'm still waiting for the reports, the results of the investigation. This cannot be tolerated. This cannot be tolerated. And I pray to the God of Ambazonia that this is the last time this is going to happen, because we are going to take every measure in the book in collaboration with the ASC to make sure that that does not happen. And nobody does that with impunity anymore in Ambazonia. So it is very, very heartbreaking. And you know that no matter how much good work we do, there are always some bad seeds and bad actors. You know, the law is there to check the bad actors, and there are enough good actors to make sure that this revolution is not shipwrecked by the bad actors. There are just a few of them. We are many, and we are on the side of the truth. We will prevail. And I'm appealing to the county heads and the county leaders in our communities, whether in the diaspora or at home, join with us as one man and make sure that we place a check on bad actors. If you see something, say something. And no one should be able to hide securely in our backyard who is working against the revolution, who is fighting against, who is trying to attack us in our strength so that we fail for his own personal gain. We should not allow that to happen. No, not in Ambazonia. If a government cannot win a war against its own people, which group can win a war against its people?
Wow, great day, Mr. President. Thank you for that response. Dr. Aisha, I would like you to take the next question.
Thank you, buddy. His Excellency, thank you for that response. The next question is about our commemoration of Restoration Day or Independence Day celebrations. We have seen plans ahead for activities in the diaspora. What strategies are being put in place by the IG and our leaders for any activities to take place on ground zero, mindful of the current situation? Thank you.
There is an organizing committee and there is organization going on, and we are calling on the rest who want to participate in this very important memorial celebration to join the organizing committee and contribute your ideas, or send them by email or text them to the interim government. I will not give the details of preparations because there are a lot of things, but we have preparation going on for ground zero. So I know this will be highly provocative to the enemies that are already mad at they are losing the war in many phases, and they don't want this celebration to take place, especially on ground zero. We have mapped out how that will happen. So it will happen and we are preparing for it. I know they are also preparing for it, probably more about their elections, but we are preparing to make sure that our people are able to raise up their flags, celebrate in their own way, and make a statement to the world that we are still here. We now control our land. We now are in control of this much, and we can celebrate and go and rest. So that's what it is. I won't give you details on that. A lot is being done, but on the ground.
Okay, thank you so very much, Mr. President. I'm taking the next question. Sir, to my opinion, we are at a stage of the revolution where two things are important: finance, ground action. When we say we are funding Ground Zero, are we sending money to them to procure equipment? If yes, is there a system in place that ensures that the equipments are procured? Are procurement officers same as those in charge of disbursing the funds? If we are sending the money as compensation for foot soldiers, is there a system to ensure that resources are equally shared? If Ground Zero does not complain and act, I do not think the people will question the IG. To be able to avoid public condemnation of mismanagement, does the IG have a robust system for accountability, Mr. President?
Okay. I almost dismissed the question because of the first part of it, because I was not going to tell you anything about what happens and what we do, how we do things. That would be very unprofessional. That would be very against security and protocol to do anything like that. I think the professionals will be mad with me. But you want to know about a robust system of accountability. Yes, we do. More than any organization in this, any other organization that has been or that is in this struggle, the IG has, because it's not a one-man show, because there are departments and there are checks and balances and there are oversight. There are internal control mechanism. The only way somebody will be siphoning money in the IG now, it must be that he has convinced a bunch of swindlers that all of them agree on the same thing, because it's not possible if you agree with the person that approves for you, you don't agree with the person that pays, because the approving authority is different from the one that pays. If you agree with the one who pays, you will not agree with the one that comes with internal controls periodically. You won't also agree with them. So it is not possible. We have set up a government that we can be proud of, that we can transplant from here, from the diaspora to Boya the next day, and be proud that we have a government in place. That's what we are meticulously building and putting in place. So you can be assured that our problem as now will not be any mismanagement. It will just be a matter of insufficiency of fund. But I want to assure the people that whatever we get, we will manage it. And we have all the professionals today. We have the best of accountants. We have the best of auditors who work with Fortune 500 companies, people who are smart and who are read and who are intelligent. These are people who are working. Some are, they are not known, but they are working for the IG. This is what we have put in place. And these are people I want to say thank you, because they are working day and night to make sure that we are the government that we ought to be for the people of Ambazonia. So you can forget about the detractors and some people just talk because they have a microphone and they have a keyboard. But this is a government of with all the think tanks put together, we are hundreds of people of all manner of training and experience working together to make this thing work. I can assure you we have them. Whatever is lacking, we are only building every day to make it better. That's what we do. We are having meetings. Right now I'm late for another meeting. We are trying to make sure that we put things in place that are not there. We'll make sure that we get the right people at any point without publicity. That's what we are building for the people of Ambazonia.
Wow, thank you, sir. I think your response was actually very encouraging. Right now, I would like the Amazonian people to do a hashtag because the president sent out a caption this evening. There shall be no election in our country. So everybody watching, you do a hashtag as you share, do a hashtag now. There shall be no election in our nation. Thank you very much. As why are you preparing to do that? Dr. Aisha will be taking her last question for tonight.
Thank you, Paddy. His Excellency, not much has been seen in public in terms of collaborative actions by our leaders or the G7 after AACC. Are there any concrete plans on the way that His Excellency can share with Amazonians on this? Thank you.
I want to be frank with us, the people of Amazonia, to tell us that we agreed to agree on some things. But as at this point, we have not agreed concretely on what we can do jointly as a group of people. So that has not happened, and I hope it happens. But I don't like the handwritings on the wall. I sincerely hope and pray that we all understand that the people did not desire us to come in front of the cameras and just hold hands and make pictures or videos. Their desire was to work together. But I want to say that it is difficult because we have not agreed on anything that we can do together as one people. So the tendency is for us to gather and dismiss, hoping that as time goes on, something might happen. But I pray that it happens, and sooner than later. But until then, we have to make sure that what we cannot get by appealing to people, we can get by every means in the book, if it is good for Amazonia. I want to take that if some leaders don't want to come together, some of us don't want to come together to work, let us give that power to the people. That's the idea. In fact, I think that if we empower the people to be the leaders of this revolution in reality, to make the decisions and fund the revolution as they decide, then they will require collaboration and get it. But for now, it's all dependent on our decisions and our calculations and whatever those behind us think. Even when it is very good for the people, sometimes the people might not get what they want. If you agree with me in what we are about to roll out, you, the people, will be on the driver's seat, because you will make a choice of what to do with your money for your county, and which actors are listening to you and which ones are not listening to you, which ones are ready to do what you want, so that they can earn your confidence, your trust, to be given what you have to secure your county or your local government area. So for now, I want to tell you, it's a clean slate. We are yet to agree on anything, and that is why if we don't quickly agree on anything that we can do together, not just go back and believe that every group will do it and that's it. If we don't agree on anything we can do together, it means that even the fundraiser we did in DC will still be pending for in the books and will accomplish nothing for us, because the interim government has taken a position that we must do that which we decided to do together, or we tell the people of Ambazonians why.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much. I want to ask you a very last question for tonight because I understand you're late for your meeting. I think this is an anticipated question. Our people have been concerned. There is this notorious guy on Ground Zero, also called General Ivor. We are aware of the fact that some months ago, this same guy was a mastermind of what his gang did for Sokadev. And in recent days, this same guy and his gang were informed that this guy has attacked ASC camps in Dian, in Lebialem, in Gorketuja, and even in Bafut. Mr. President, this is indeed worrisome. And the people would like to know if you have an immediate solution to stop this monstrosity from within our circles. Thank you.
As the government, as the interim government, we have taken serious note of what was widely reported by social media and by eyewitnesses that reported. And but we want to, we are depending on the investigations that are ongoing by the ASC and the Department of Homeland Security of the interim government. I need to get the report, the final report of those investigations to know what really transpired. And I will depend very much on their recommendation going forward. But those are some of the things I decried in my speech, that these kind of things should not even be mentioned amongst us, unless we are not who we say we are. These kind of things should not even be mentioned. It should be a lie. It should be a name that we cannot recognize. It should be a ghost. But it should not be happening amongst us. Then something is wrong. Something is really wrong. But I hope that it is not what it did not happen the way it happened, the way it was reported, because it is sad, it is telling and disturbing for the people, especially of those communities, of those counties and those that suffered, because when these people constitute themselves in defense groups as restoration forces, they are primarily defending themselves, secondly defending their communities, thirdly they are acting as a deterrent against further destruction in their communities. And so if somebody comes against those camps, against those people who are duly constituted for the security of that area, he is actually coming against the community. This is very sad, and this should not happen again, if at all it happened.
Wow. Thank you very much, Mr. President. I would say that your wisdom and your willingness to lead the people of Ambazonia at this particular time can never be overemphasized. Tonight has been a booster evening for each and every one of us. We've had county by county, we've had you responded to very hard questions and given to us very clear strategies. Thank you once again. I want to reiterate to all our televiewers that the president said something for all the communities that are facing challenges to calm and avoid external escalations. Calm down, because the interim government is in control. Mr. President, at this juncture, I would say we've come to a logical end of this program for today. And I will thank you for granting to us the opportunity to ask questions on behalf of Ambazonians. Fellow televiewers, we look forward to having you next week, same time, with the acting president of the Federal Republic of Ambazonia. Thank you. Have a great night, and God bless you.
Bye-bye.